What if the real hidden gem of your cruise isn't a secret beach or a once-in-a-lifetime excursion, but it was the ship itself? On a port day, while almost everyone rushes ashore, a handful of smart cruisers are unlocking something way better. Wide open pools, quiet hot tubs, empty buffets, spa deals, and total peace. But knowing when to stay on board and when to go ashore is the real trick. So today I'm sharing 11 insider secrets to help you cruise smarter, relax deeper, and experience the ship like you practically own it. Hey y'all, I'm Evan with Family at Sea, where we help make every cruise unforgettable. Whether you're gearing up for your very first sailing or you've been cruising so long you know the muster drill by heart, this video is here to help you rethink how you spend your port days and why sometimes staying on board can turn a good cruise into a great one. Because by the end of this video, you'll know how to tell when it's smarter to stay on the ship instead of rushing ashore, what hidden perks you unlock when you skip the crowds and stay on board, and why trading a port day for an empty ship could end up being the highlight of your entire trip. If you want your next cruise to feel more relaxing, more memorable, and filled with the moments you'll be glad you didn't miss, it all starts with how you spend your port days. If you're ready, I am. Let's go. When you stay on board during a port day, you're skipping way more than just an excursion. You're skipping the madness. Instead of lining up with thousands of other cruisers all trying to cram onto the same buses, into the same shops, and onto the same beaches, you're stepping into a different world. Wide open pools, quiet hot tubs, empty buffets, no chair hogging wars. Wait, Evan, so instead of getting herded around like cattle under the hot sun, I could be floating in a quiet pool with no crowds? Exactly. And honestly, it's like flipping a switch from chaos to actual vacation. And the best part, you didn't have to fight for it. You just had to stay put. Sometimes the smartest move isn't doing more, it's doing less and finally enjoying the vacation you actually paid for. Some port days are meant for adventure, but other times you don't need another bus tour, another shopping market, or another beach packed with folding chairs. You need a break. Staying on board during a port day gives you the perfect chance to actually recharge. Sleep in, grab a late breakfast, hit the pool when it's practically empty, or just sit on your balcony with a coffee and no schedule at all. You paid for the ship experience, not just to wear yourself out trying to do everything.
This is the life.
And sometimes the best thing you can do for the rest of your cruise is to take one day to reset, breathe, and just let yourself be. Most cruisers treat port days like an all-or-nothing deal. You either get off the ship first thing, or you stay on board all day. But one of the smartest moves we've learned? Stay on board early and get off later. While everyone else is racing down the gangway at 8 a.m., you're sipping coffee by the pool, hitting the spa, or grabbing breakfast without a single line in sight. Then, once the first wave of cruisers starts to come back hot, tired, and a little cranky, that is when you head ashore. You get the ship at its quietest and the port at its calmest. Of course, pulling this off is easier when you have a little help planning ahead. That's why we use Cruises It for our bookings. They are experts at finding flexible excursion options and better itineraries. So you're not stuck with those early morning rush excursions everyone else is scrambling for. Plus, they back it all up with a low price guarantee to ensure you get the best possible price on any cruises and excursions you book. And with their cruise fare watch system, which automatically tracks for any price drops before final payment, if prices do drop, they'll automatically lock in that lower rate with no paperwork, no phone calls, and no stress. If you prefer to book yourself, just click the link in the description below, or if you want true white glove service, call the number on the screen and tell them Evan from Family at Sea sent you. Because at the end of the day, cruising should feel like a vacation, not a competition. Let's be real. Not every port is family friendly, and not every kid or grown-up is going to be thrilled about getting dragged through another crowded shopping market or crammed onto another long tour bus. Sometimes the best move you can make is staying on board. Let the kids hit the water slides, grab a slice of pizza, maybe even sneak in a movie or a nap, and save everyone from a day of tired meltdowns. Yeah, Evan, nothing says vacation like dragging a screaming toddler through a souvenir shop. Exactly. Sometimes the best memories aren't about checking another port off the list, they're about enjoying your people while they are happy, fed, and dry. If you bought a drink package, chances are you're already doing the math in your head by day 2. In port days, they can wreck your averages if you're off the ship for 6 hours without a drink in sight. But when you stay on board, lounging by the pool, hitting up the bar, grabbing a specialty coffee or two, you are actually getting the full value of what you paid for. You can sip without stress, snack without thinking about extra charges, and keep the vacation vibe alive without constantly watching the clock. Because let's be honest, if you paid for unlimited drinks, you might as well enjoy them the easy way. Some ports are easy. You step off the ship and you're in the middle of town within minutes. Others, not so much. Sometimes you dock miles away from anything worth seeing, and getting there means hopping on a tender boat, taking a 45-minute bus ride, and paying a taxi driver who would rather be anywhere else. Wait, so I'm supposed to spend my vacation chasing buses and waiting in lines like I'm running weekend errands? Hard pass, Evan. Exactly. If the port sounds inconvenient, rushed, or just plain not worth the hassle, don't feel bad about staying on board. Sometimes the best souvenir you can bring home is your sanity. Port days are when a lot of cruise ships roll out their best spa deals, and staying on board is your golden ticket to grab them without the crowds. With fewer people on board, you can snag discounts on massages, facials, IV treatments, and even salon services that usually book out fast. Instead of rushing around a crowded port, you could be getting a deep tissue massage, relaxing in a private sauna, or soaking in a thermal pool with nobody bumping elbows with you.
I know what I'm about, son.
Because sometimes the smartest thing you can do on a cruise is nothing at all. Not every port feels like a perfect fit for every cruiser, and that's okay. Maybe it's a place you're just not that excited about. Maybe it's somewhere you would rather visit on a guided excursion than wandering around on your own. Or maybe you just get the sense it is not the right day to get off the ship, and you would rather spend it relaxing instead. You do not need a big reason. You don't need permission. If it feels better to stay on board and enjoy everything the ship has to offer, trust that instinct. Wait, Evan, you mean I don't need a 10-point checklist to justify staying on the ship? Love that. Exactly. Your cruise, your call, and sometimes the best memories happen when you stop chasing what you feel like you were supposed to do and start living in the moment. If you've been to a port before and you did everything you wanted to do the first time, you don't have to force yourself to get off again just because it's on the schedule. Sure, you can revisit places you loved, but sometimes it's more rewarding to enjoy the ship instead, especially when you have already checked the big sites off your list. Instead of spending the day trying to recreate a memory, you could be making new ones on board, whether that's relaxing in the solarium, hitting the water slides, or just enjoying a second round of that spa day you promised yourself. Because trying to force a great day to happen twice often just reminds you that the first one was special for a reason, and that's okay.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Sometimes staying on board isn't just about relaxing. It's about protecting your wallet too. If you've ever felt like you were being nickel and dimed on shore, paying for taxis, overpriced drinks, touristy souvenirs you didn't even want, you know how fast port days can blow up your budget. When you stay on board, you've already paid for the food, the drinks if you have a package, the pools, the entertainment, and the atmosphere. You can enjoy an amazing day without spending a dime extra. And if you really want to treat yourself, save that money for something you will actually remember, like a specialty dinner, a spa treatment, or an upgraded excursion later in the cruise. Hold up, Evan. You're telling me I can save money and still eat 3 desserts by the pool? Why is this even a debate? You're not wrong. Sometimes the best upgrade you can buy is not spending extra in the first place. Now, the bad news is most cruisers never even think about this stuff. They rush off the ship because they think they are supposed to, chasing crowded tours, burning money on overpriced souvenirs, and spending half their vacation feeling more stressed than when they left home. But you're not cruising like everybody else anymore. You know how to make the port days work for you, whether that means turning the ship into your own private escape or stepping ashore with a real plan that actually feels like a vacation. And if you do want to get off and explore, I've got you covered. In this next video, I'm breaking down the exact method we use to plan excursions that save you money, skip the stress, and set you up for the kind of memories you actually want to relive, not just post about. As always, thank you for watching, and until next time, may your seas be smooth and your horizons wide. Bon voyage!